Welcome to this YouTube channel. Today we have something interesting and it is called conditional formatting in Google Sheets. We're going to look at the basics of conditional formatting. Later on, I'll do a more advanced video on advanced conditional formatting in Google Sheets. In this one, it is for beginners, so we're going to look at the basics. So let's get started. Now, on top here, we have the format tab. This is what we're gonna be using. So to format this text here, we first highlight it here, then go to format. Right down here, we have conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is all about formatting your list of values or range of values based on a given condition. For example, you can say, highlight all the empty cells. So I want you to format the different cells based on the condition that they are empty. As long as the cell is empty, it will be formatted, and how it is formatted is determined by what colors or borders or fields that I select. So once I click on format, conditional formatting, the dialog on the side right here shows up. This dialog shows up on the side right here. So we have single color and then we have color scale, but we go for this basic, we shall go for the single color. Apply range to. So the range to which we are going to apply our conditional formatting is selected here. If you selected it at the beginning before opening this side dialog, it will automatically appear here as you see. Then when we move down, now we have the rules that determine how our cells are going to be formatted. So in our case here, we can say format any cell that is empty. So the moment I click there, you can see the empty cell is selected. And the next thing I'm gonna do is, how do I want that empty cell to be selected? Can I do a bold? Can I do italics? Can I underline? Can I cross through? All these can be selected. Some of them may not apply to empty cells because there's nothing inside the cell format. But what we can do is this color fill and say, the moment the cell is empty, give it a yellow color. When I click there, you can see the yellow color being applied to the empty cell in my range. So that is how we do the conditional formatting of the cell. The other option is, there are a number of options here. If the cell is empty, if I format this range, this is how it will appear. Next, if the cell is not empty, apply to the same range. So what is going to happen? It is going to format all these other cells that are not empty, and the empty cell, it will not be formatted. So when I click not empty, you can see the custom format I applied here. I underlined, I bolded, I made it italics, is all applied to the cells that are not empty. We can take it further and say, okay, there are a number of options here where we can say a cell contains, we can use a formula or type it here. So I'm going to use a formula equal to, I'm going to use, there's something here I have in D1, $, D1, yes. Then so what I'm saying, format all cells in that range which contain the letter PE, okay? And when I do that and say done, you can see any word that has PE in it is formatted. Let's test it further. If I select a T, you can see words with that contain letter T being formatted. So you can change it JN, letter, as long as the word has JN, NA, as long as the word has NA, will be formatted. So you can format based on that as well. Let's look at the further options contains. Let's look at an example that has numbers. Now we highlight this, go to formatting, and then do our conditional formatting. Now, before I go there, maybe, and for you to use conditional formatting, and using formulas, it needs to return a true and false. So that if it is true, the conditional formatting is applied. If it is false, the formatting is not applied. It is formatting based on a condition. So for example here, I can say I want to format all values above 80,000. So I need to put in a formula that returns true for all values that are above 80,000. So how do I do that? I'll say, as long as this value here is greater than, this value is greater than 8,000, I pick 8,000 from this range. So let me just fix the column. Like so. And maybe fix this range here. I get a true. Autofill comes in and says, do you want the others also to be filled? And I say, yes, I want. So you'll see that all values above 80,000 are returning true. So this is true. We have another true here. This is false because it is less than 80,000. So we need to use a formula that returns true and false, so that when it is true, the formatting will be applied. When it is false, the formatting will not be applied. So I'm going to copy this formula here because I'm gonna use it in my conditional formatting. The next, I highlight the cells where I want my conditional formatting to be applied. I go to format, click on conditional formatting. The cell range is correctly selected. I go down this rule I want to apply. I have a number of them here, greater than, okay. Actually, you can use these ones here, or you can also use a formula. So let me first show you how to use a formula. Then later on, I'll show you how to use some of these. So I come to custom formula is, I type my formula there, the one that returns a true and false, and I say done. The moment you do that, you can see that the values above 80,000 are formatted like so. So I can change this to 10,000. Everything changes to true. Now this one is not necessary. I can delete it. And you can see all values are above 10,000 and therefore formatted. If I want 4,000, you can see only values above 40,000 get formatted. That's how you can use the formula. The other way of doing it, because we already have, highlight my cells again, go back to conditional formatting. Now I remove this one here, or add a row, come down, Now, because I have an option here that says greater than, so I can refer, I believe, to my cell there. I need to see the cell reference F1. Okay. And then I say, so I say greater than F1, or you can type here the value directly, but it's normally good to make it dynamic. So you refer to a cell that changes so that you can see how the different changes impact on the formatting. So what we do here, if I change it to 4,000, you can see all values above 40,000 are being formatted. 10,000, everything is formatted and it is working fine. So you can use the formula for that case. Now you can also use dates. For example, you can use dates here. When you highlight, the procedure is the same. Go to conditional formatting, and then right down here under the rules, if you scroll down and you say date is, or date is before, date is after, okay? So for example, let me scroll down more, reduce this a bit, highlight everything right here, and then I come to my rules. I want to format any data in that information where the date is equal to today's date. So once I've done that, I select what color it should be formatted to, and I say done. Let's apply it. Date is today's date. Then I format it, say done, and there you go. You say today is 7th of October, and the date equaling to 7th October will be formatted. So that's how you can use the date. You can also say greater than a given date. I apply the rule, select greater than or before or after, whichever you want. Before today's date, for example, today's date, or before tomorrow or last week. You know, there are some options here you can select. So before today's date, if I select that, you can see all dates that are before today as formatted. So that's how you can format using dates. Let's move on to a more interesting thing. And right here, I want to format duplicates. Duplicates, I mean text that appears more than once. So when I add my rule here, you'll observe under the options here in Google Sheets, it's not like Excel where we have duplicates. This one does not have duplicates in it. So the question will be, how do we go about it? Now, one important thing you have to note is as long as we can use a custom formula, which custom formula can help us identify the duplicates. And you need to be aware that the custom formula needs to return a true and false. So our question will be, how do we find duplicates of John in this list of Peter and so on using the formula? The formula I can think of is the count if formula. It counts the number in a range, and our range is right here. This is the range, and I will just fix it like that. And the condition, I want to count John right there. So I refer to John. Maybe I'll fix the column like so. Then anything that has John will be counted. So when I do that, you see that John returns 2. So there's a John here and another John right here. So when I do that and I drag my formula down, it tells me Peter is only 1, John is twice, as we have seen, Gianna twice, Genevieve once, and so on. So this is the formula that helps us determine the moment the count gives us 2 and on and more, it means that more than 1 text appears. If it gives 1, it means the text appears once, and if it gives 0, it means that there is no text. So in conditional formatting, we need to return a true and false. So how do we return a true and false from this? We need to add on greater than 1. So we're telling Google Sheets that if it is greater than 1, return a true. And if it is less than 1, return a false. So because John appears twice, you can see that it returns true for John. And I can comfortably drag this down, and you can see the other options that return true. Having established our formula that returns on trues and falses, we do copy it, and we are going to format it. Maybe first thing, clear the formatting, whatever is there, then go under format using a condition. And I'm going to use a formula, which is a custom formula. And I'll paste my formula, which returns trues and false. When I do that, I'll select the way I want them to be formatted, like so, and say done. So when I do that, you can see all values which return true, meaning that they appear more than once, are highlighted. This video has covered the basics of conditional formatting. We have looked at finding out values which are empty, containing text, numbers, dates, and duplicates. If you're interested in more videos, please let me know, and I'll bring to you a more advanced video on conditional formatting. There's a lot more that we can do in conditional formatting. This video just covered the basics. Thank you for watching, and if you have not subscribed, please hit the subscription button. Don't forget to share, and have a great day.